That was immaculately observed by everybody in this 30,000-seater stadium. And our hearts and prayers go out to all those affected by that tragedy. But this is now time for the football. A big team talk. The Wales huddle to the left of the halfway line. They emerge from it now. Macedonia, all in grey, are going to start the game. Going from right to left as we look at it. So kicking towards the travelling Wales supporters. There are flags everywhere behind that goal to the left. They're taking their full allocation. And we are underway, live in Skopje. North Macedonia versus Wales, live here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. And Wales pick the ball up straight away, all in red. Sorba Thomas charging forward over on the far left side. The boos with the visitors in possession. The momentum of the counter-attack is slow, but now this is Jordan James cutting in, thinking about a shot, and it's palmed away by the goalkeeper behind for a Wales corner. A great chance already, and we've not even played 30 seconds.
Yeah, good evening everybody, and why not Jordan James? Absolutely superb. Great play by Sorba Thomas down the left-hand side. Checks around the 18-yard box, or level with it. He's out wide, plays the ball back to Jordan James, who cuts inside and unleashes a right foot bender. It's well saved.
We're still inside the first minute. It is 0-0. Sorba Thomas down beneath us. We're high up in this main stand. The corner goes short this time to Jan James. Tried to back heel and catch out North Macedonia. And he's actually conceded a free kick. That one didn't quite work, shall we say. But Wales showing their intent straight from the off, Helen Ward.
Yeah, we're used to fast starts under Craig Bellamy, aren't we? And tonight is nothing new to see. So, yeah, positive from Jordan James. As Nathan said, why not have a pop shot from there, and almost found its way into the corner. So, fantastic start so far.
The Wales team then, if you're just tuning into us, it does look as we expected it to be. Darlow in goal, Williams, Roden, Mepham and Davis, Jordan James, Sheehan and Broadhead, Thomas, Johnson and Dan James leading the line in a 4-3-3. And this is Nico Williams on the ball now for Wales, all in red with that green and white trim. The flashes down the side of the shirt and down the back of the shorts. Yet to lose under Craig Bellamy, but they've given the ball away, and the grey-shirted North Macedonians charge forward for the first time, and they'll shoot from distance, and that flies past the post from 25 yards. Well watched by Karl Darlow, and the effort came in from Timur Kostandinov, one of the two changes to the team tonight.
Yeah, Kostandinov shouldn't be getting that kind of space in behind Wales' midfield. Josh Sheehan just sat deeper, but you could see one pass took out the whole of Wales' midfield, and he was at the goal and took the shot on. Why not? Very good effort, good save, but Wales have got to be careful. They can't let that happen too often.
And that's the captain, Bardi, wriggling away, still inside his own half. The North Macedonian team is Dimitrevski in goal, Zatkov, Serafimov and Musliu. It is a back three. Ilievski, Almi, Bardi and Alioski, formerly of Leeds United, and we think it's a front three as well, of Konstantinov, who's just had that shot, Miovski and Elmas. One of two changes to the team. Alexander Trajkovski drops to the bench. He scored the winner when these two teams last played in this ground in 2013. Chris Coleman left his passport. Craig Bellamy with no such problems, and he's in a smart suit and long, smart grey coat tonight, because he wants to pay tribute to all the victims of that nightclub fire. Wales paying their respects in the press conference yesterday and before the game today. This one is 0-0 after 4 minutes, and Macedonia take the free kick on the halfway line towards the corner flag, but it can't be kept in by Alioski. Actually collides with the corner flag, and it's a goal kick to Wales.
Yeah, you can see what they're trying to exploit though. either the wide ball or that one in behind the midfield of Wales. So they haven't really got going yet, North Macedonia. But in saying that, they do look dangerous on occasion.
Wales attack down the far left, but the ball goes out of play for a throw to the hosts. I mentioned how high up we are in our commentary position, Nathan and I, here in Skopje. Now there's a big blue running athletics track round the outside. It's a very vast open bowl. And it's a very big technical area. Craig Bellamy has to stride forward for a couple of minutes before he can perch himself at the end by the touchline. This is Dan James for Wales, loses out inside the North Macedonian half. They're in grey, light grey sleeves, the home side, and they're the ones in possession right now here on BBC Radio Wales. We are on air tonight until 10 o'clock. We'll bring you reaction as well, however this finishes. And can Craig Bellamy maintain his unbeaten start to life as Wales manager, as Mepham heads away? It's collected by the North Macedonians on the halfway line.
Yeah, Alimi, the North Macedonian number 16, has given Wales a little problem. Jordan James not sure whether to go with him. There he goes again. He's given them a problem because he's tucking inside, and Jordan's not sure whether to go with him or to call Sober Thomas inside off his line to mark him.
And Carl Darlow is charged down, and he had almost no option, but eventually gets it out to that far side, and Ben Davies does really well to start an attack. And this is Sober Thomas wide on the far left. Thought Darlow was in a bit of trouble, and in the end the cross is coming in. James is attacking, but it's claimed well by Dimitrevski, the Valencia goalkeeper in blue.
Yeah, I'd just like to see Brennan Johnson just get across the front man there, rather than just hang out for, you know, the cutback all the time. Just anticipate that, a little dart across, or even, you know, half start the go. You can check your run. I know it's difficult, but just gets across his man there. He might just get a little toe end on the end of that.
It is 0-0. As players collide into each other on the halfway line. There's nothing given by the French referee Jerome Bissard. And Mepham, back in the team, heads into the air. It's all inside the Wales half. We've had a bit of sunshine this morning here in Skopje. Rain in the afternoon, which has now cleared. Been a very warm, mild day. Temperature is dropping, though, here in the North Macedonian capital. 7 minutes have elapsed on the two big red colour scoreboards at either end of this stadium. Wales having plenty of the ball. And this is Brennan Johnson's first meaningful touch. He turns into trouble, but he's taken out. And it's a free kick. Nathan Blake alongside me in the stadium. Helen Ward is watching back in the studio. What have you made, Helen, of the opening 7.5 minutes?
Yeah, I don't think either side have really sort of taken a foothold in the game. Obviously the early opportunity for Wales followed up quite quickly by a shot just wide from North Macedonia, so it's a little bit to and fro, a little bit scrappy. I wouldn't say either side would be particularly happy with their start, but I don't think either side would be massively worried either. It's very sort of cat and mouse at the moment, I feel.
Free kick is just outside the centre circle. The jeers are because Wales have an attack, and they're getting louder by the minute. It's going to be dinked in by Nico Williams, looking for Brennan Johnson to help it across goal. He couldn't quite wrap the outside of his boot around that, so it goes behind for a goal kick to North Macedonia. It is goalless here live on BBC Radio Wales, all our frequencies. So digital radio, digital television, 882 on medium wave, FM. The BBC Sounds app on your smartphone or tablet. You can take us out and about, whatever you're doing. And we're also live on BBC 5 Live Sports Extra 2. World Cup qualifying, match day number 2. These two teams having won their first game on Saturday. Top seeds Belgium yet to introduce themselves into this campaign. They're coming in June. Neither team has blinked yet in the early going. Nico Williams has it once more for Wales, switching positions from Saturday night in Cardiff, playing right back to allow the captain Ben Davies on the ball now to play wide on the left. He's scored, of course, moments into the second half, and he's got over the halfway line, stopped the ball dead. Macedonia happy to let Wales have it, and now they try again on this near right side. Wales being patient and happy to have the ball.
Yeah, patience is a virtue, Mark, and as we used to say, if you've got the ball, your opponent can't score. So just keep the ball, try and run a bit of energy out of the legs of your opponent. It's better you having it. Ball never gets tired. And if you're in possession, you tend not to get tired yourself.
While Nathan was talking, Wales passed it backwards but kept the ball all the while he was speaking. It's Roden and Mepham exchanging passes now against this tricky North Macedonian opponent on a run of 6 straight victories, 10 hours without conceding a goal. The goalkeeper Dimitrevski spoke at the press conference yesterday, said he was looking forward to another clean sheet, and one of the North Macedonian reporters put that opinion to Craig Bellamy yesterday. His reply was quite blunt: they haven't played us yet. And Wales have got themselves a throw-in, level with the edge of the North Macedonian penalty area, far left side from our lofty commentary position here. He goes short to Jordan James, who turns to the corner flag, cuts back, looks for support. Thomas with the socks rolled down. His cross is stabbed away by the defender. He'll have another go. He finds Ben Davies forward. Jordan James eventually wraps his boot round it, towed away once more by the hosts, and that's loose from Broadhead. And North Macedonia can pounce now. Elmas of Torino thought about going forward, instead goes backwards. Only one of the North Macedonian team plays their club football in this domestic league. They're dotted all around Europe, a couple in Italy, one in Spain, and they went long there looking for Miovski, one of their scorers on Saturday as they beat Liechtenstein, the minnows in the group. And it's won by Broadhead, and he thought he was away. The referee's given a free kick for a high boot on Nathan Broadhead, and he's left in a big heap. Alioski, the former Leeds player. We're going to see a replay of it here. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, it's a foul. It's one of them. You don't mean it, but as the player's going to clear the ball, you go with your studs automatically. There's almost no other part of the body you can go with, really, in that situation. And, as he's kicking the ball, he just kicks through in the bottom of your foot. It's a sore one, definitely, but yeah, it's not something that, you know, you're intending to hurt your opponent. It's just one of those unfortunate situations. You're trying to win the ball. Even if you try and toe poke it, he's going to kick the bottom of your studs. As a striker, I've done it many times to defenders, accidentally, of course.
And the French referee in the yellow shirt gave him a talking to, Nathan Broadhead. Free kick goes long to the edge of the Wales penalty area, and Mepham heads away. Johnson scuttles back to win it, but it might break for the Macedonians here. Great challenge by Nico Williams. The grey shirts have still got the ball. Now on this near left. They're onto the edge of the penalty area. Bardi is the captain. They've got an overlap, who is Alioski. That curling cross straight onto the head of Roden once more, with that wrist heavily taped, having cleared once with his head. He clears with his boot. And North Macedonia go back to their goalkeeper, Dimitrevski, and he goes long. He's had a little shove on the back of Davis. It is from the striker Kostadinov. All the fans jeering every decision that doesn't go North Macedonians' way. It's not full, this stadium. There are plenty of empty red and yellow seats dotted around across from us. There's two huge empty blocks separating the Wales fans from the locals. And everyone in that away end, all 2,000 Wales fans on their feet with all the flags dotted around. And this is Nathan Broadhead coming towards the edge of the penalty. Tries to tow it through for Johnson. We knew he was offside, so lets that one go through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's just made his run a tad too early, Brennan. Good play though. Little touch by Dan James. Good run inside. And then the ball through. It's what Brennan is looking for. They just didn't get their timing right in that occasion.
It remains goalless, as it does in all the qualifiers currently being played, including in Wales's group, the two lowest seeds, Liechtenstein and Kazakhstan. This is Dan James for Wales, crossing into the middle. Never looked like it was going to reach Johnson. It's cut out. And James, though, has done enough to win the throw. Down beneath us on the near side.
Yeah, I think had he got there, he would have been offside. He was ahead of the play, Brennan. Right from the get-go.
15 minutes have gone. The deadlock still to be broken here in Skopje. And the temperature is decreasing by the minute. Nico Williams has been taken out as he cut the ball back. And he's got a free kick right by the corner flag. He went down rather theatrically, did the Nottingham Forest fullback.
I think it's Alioski's follow-through. It's the Cruyff turn that does for him. Oh, no.
It's actually a hand.
Yeah, I mean, Nico, that's not going to look good tomorrow.
The old ankle tap in rugby league.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that.
Well, this is a chance. Couple of yards in from the corner flag, which is waving about in the breeze on the near right side. Macedonia brought out all bar one of their grey-shirted players back. In fact, he is now coming to the edge of the penalty area. All the targets in red are at the back post. They run forward now. In it comes, flicked away before it reaches Jordan James. Broadhead has missed his kick on the edge of the box. He's managed to keep hold of it just about. Nico Williams will put it back in, but Roden and Mepham have raced back to the halfway line. And this is Sheehan now in the centre circle. Wales keep the ball. They've lost the field position. Davis digs in across high. It's nowhere near Brennan Johnson, but the loose ball drops for Williams. He's got to be careful here. He's under pressure from Bardi, and he's lost it on the halfway line down beneath us. Here is Bardi, the captain, to Elmas. Drops his shoulder as he wriggles forward to the midway point in the Wales half on this near left. Bardi with the yellow armband is down the byline, slowly making his way forward to the edge of the box. Here he is once more. Wales have got themselves set. As Macedonia work it into the penalty area, it's read really well by Sheehan. And now Williams can clear for Wales. It's headed straight back though into the penalty area. Bardi takes it down. It's loose from both teams before Broadhead is neat and tidy. Gets it back from Dan James as he comes up to the halfway line. Holds it up as he clipped. Yes, says the referee. And that is good work by Nathan Broadhead, Helen Ward.
Yeah, he's done well there on the break. You know, it's a difficult position for him to fill when we've seen someone like Harry Wilson do so well in recent years for Wales. I think this is the sort of game that we're going to really miss him, but Nathan Broadhead is working hard. He's very, you know, bright. He's athletic and he likes to press. And he was breaking away there, and he does well to win his side a free kick and get us up the pitch.
And just put his body across him, Mark. Clever bit of play. Knew he was outnumbered, not going to get away from two players. I've seen him just before he approached the ball, just put his body across the defender or the opponent.
Those are the voices of the two former Wales strikers, Nathan Blake and before him Helen Ward. My company here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. We are your team for Welsh sport. The game is live on BBC One Wales as well. The throw's taken short and they pinch a couple of yards further down this near right touchline. Williams again, short. And it's even worse than the first one. Gives possession back And Macedonia might be able to break here. Elmas has spun Roden. He's danced between two. It's Sheehan with the tackle, and now Jordan James drives forward, gets past one challenge into Brennan Johnson, who tried the flicked return, and it was never on, Nathan.
No, he's got to hold that ball. You know, sometimes you can't do it one touch. You know, centre forward, hold the ball up. You know, take the challenge if you need be. Take the foul. But, you know, sort of like before it's even coming in, he's looking to get rid of it. I think a natural striker there puts his backside into the defender, gets hold of the ball, looks up, see if there's anything on, and plays the pass.
And he does it again there, one touch, and it's just not on. One can only imagine, Helen, what someone like Kiefer Moore might do in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's struggling a little bit again in that number 9 role. And a former coach of mine actually used to say you're judged on outcomes, not touches, as a forward. If you need to take 2 touches, take them. You know, keep the ball for your team. Sometimes it will be on for 1 touch, and it's about making those decisions in the moment and getting it right for your team. And Brennan just needs to get hold of the ball and find his feet a little bit, I think, and bring others into play. Stop trying to be fancy. It's too crowded around there to do that.
While Alan was talking there, Wales have won a corner. James on the near right, down beneath us. His cross was blocked, and Sorba Thomas jogs across slowly. Picks the ball up, wipes it down on his shirt. The running track has some puddles around it. It was raining before kickoff. Not anymore, but there's still some residue on that surface. Outswinger by Thomas towards Broadhead, who heads it towards goal. Comfortable save for Dimitrevski, the goalkeeper, who tries to set Macedonia away straight away. Bardi on the end of the long ball, and needs Darlow to come all the way out to the midway point in the Wales half to just fire it back where it came from. Yeah. And it dribbles out for a throw-in right by the North Macedonian corner flag across from us.
It's actually really good play by Darlow. No messing, and it puts them right down in the corner where they don't want to be, and allows Wales to set up, make it difficult for them to get out.
Wales trying to pen them in here. We're at the midway point in the first half. Neither keeper has been troubled too much. Jordan James had that good effort in the opening moments, and that's about it for goalmouth incident.
Yeah, Wales have done really well not to get done on the counter press so many times, even from set pieces once or twice. They've got players back, won the ball back, and kept possession. Stopped any scares or anything like that, or getting this crowd involved, getting them up out of their seats and chanting. Wales have done really well so far these first 22 minutes. Just dampened anything that the opponent has offered.
Our first goal of the night in the World Cup qualifiers that are currently being played now. Czech Republic have taken the lead against Gibraltar, and the Czech Republic were actually the last side to beat North Macedonia in June last year. 7 games unbeaten, 6 consecutive victories as they topped their league in Nations League C as play stops.
It was actually a foul.
There's a Wales player down. Is that Nico Williams? I can't quite see from this vantage point.
It is Nico Williams. He's gone up cleanly for the ball. Elmas has just bent over, just arched his back, leant into him, and then it takes away Nico's legs, and it's really dangerous, that.
That's how he lands, I think. Big boom as he hits the wet turf here.
Yeah, it's
called knock the wind out of him.
It's called making an arch for your opponent. Just arch your back, lean into him, arch your back. But it's dangerous play. I've seen collarbones done like that.
Do I take from the fact that you've got a name for it that you did that when you were playing?
I never done nothing in the world, Mark. Clean as a whistle. Never even got a yellow card, me. Got a few reds, but, you know.
Did you ever employ that tactic, Helen, when you would play?
Nah, I tried to avoid defenders at all costs. I didn't get close enough to them.
It's still 0-0. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales. Second match day in World Cup qualifying Group J. Only the group winners are guaranteed an automatic passage into the World Cup next year in the United States, Canada and Mexico. The runners-up will compete in the playoffs with 4 teams who earn a second chance from the Nations League, and this could be either of these 2 nations, of course, as well as go back to Darlow. Both were group winners. Wales almost certain to have at the very least a playoff place. They would not want to rely, Craig Bellamy certainly would not want to rely on that Nations League spot as a cross comes into the Wales penalty area, volleyed away by Mepham, out for a North Macedonia throw across from us. A team who have never qualified for the World Cup. They reached Euro 2020. But as we've touched on at the start of the programme here on BBC Radio Wales, this is a team who in recent memory have won away in Germany and Italy. They have taken some big scalps. It's currently 0-0 as Johnson looks for Thomas on the halfway line. Cleared by Macedonia, headed out for a throw by Mepham. As this wall of red stands firm and has actually kept Macedonia at arm's length in the opening 25 minutes. As the goalkeeper has a problem here. He's having to either change his footwear or do his lace-up again. It's the latter, and of course he didn't take his goalkeeper gloves off, so he needs a teammate to do it. Or is there actually a problem?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his ankle, Mark.
I think he is saying, from the way he just sort of moved his hands there, that he might have rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
And the physios are coming on rather slowly, I might add. So we could have an issue here for North Macedonia with 26 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Wales and the score at 0-0.
Yeah, good time to get refreshments on. A little bit of info from the manager, but you know, I think Wales have done really well up to this point, this first 26 minutes or so. Doing well to counter any press, like I said, any counter pressing from the opponent. I'd say Wales have had most of the possession. Maybe, well, you'd say slightly more, but I think they've had the better possession, more corners, or have you, been in opponent's box a lot more. And the back 4, along with Darlow, they've been very good, nice and solid, taking no chances. Had a bit of a scare right in the first minute, but since then, Sheehan and Jordan James, the whole system looks really strong.
Well, the Wales players have moved away from their mini-team talk. Craig Bellamy with some very flamboyant arm movements there as he was passing on the instructions. He's a very difficult person to read and predict, Helen. But what do you think he was sort of saying to his players? Do you think he's happy with what he's seen so far?
Probably not super happy, but you know, as Nathan said, the defence are standing up tall. They're not really coming under severe pressure. There's still just that little bit of lack of intent and composure in that final third. Again, we don't, you know, although we're controlling the ball fairly well, just not really looking like we're going to score any point soon. You know, apart from that really early effort from Jordan James that made the goalkeeper work, there's not really been another occasion where you feel you're really on the edge of a goal. So I think he'd want to just improve that, maybe speed up play again in and around the opposition box. But you know, it's still relatively early days in the game. He's not going to be too concerned, I don't think, but certainly feel like there's an opportunity to go out and get a goal and take home the 3 points. It's, you know, they're not doing too badly, but I think he'll just want them to step it up a little bit.
He's still having some treatment now, the goalkeeper. He's putting his boot back on. So just to remind you that we've got more live international sport coming your way this Saturday. Wales against England in the Women's Six Nations is live on BBC Radio Wales. 4:45 kickoff. We've also got 4 football commentaries for you. Leeds against Swansea, Cardiff against Sheffield Wednesday, Exeter against Wrexham, Newport County against Notts County. That's BBC Radio Wales Sport from 2 o'clock on Saturday. Radio Wales Breakfast on air tomorrow from 7 o'clock with Dot Davis and Catherine Helleth. All the reaction to tonight you can hear tomorrow. And rugby then takes stage on BBC Two Wales later in the week. On Thursday at 7 it's Scrum 5, the warm-up, and then at 7:30 on Friday Scrum 5 live as the URC returns. Edinburgh against the Dragons, as Stol Dimitrevski, after a long delay, is okay to continue. So we are now going to restart with a North Macedonia throw just inside the Wales half. Half an hour has gone, and the throw will be taken on what is the home side's far right. He breaks to the edge of the penalty area, and he took a heavy touch. It was a pass out to the near left he could have made, and it allows Wales to clear. I think it might have been Almi on the ball, just broke to him. A really loose touch, and a first touch now as well for Dimitrevski, since he's had that lengthy treatment. You keep an eye on him, the goalkeeper. Bounces the ball in his hands on the wet surface now. Not moving entirely comfortable, he's shuffling backwards, and Brennan Johnson stood in front of him, about 5 yards away, as he's entitled to do. Clears downfield, eventually the goalkeeper, and it's up into the dark Skopje sky. Comes down and is collected by the defender Musliu. It's a poor pass, and his opposite number Roden has it. Jordan James is caught in possession inside his own half. Nepham comes sliding Great tackle by the player on loan at Sunderland.
Yeah, bailed his mate out there. Jordan just with a heavy touch. Ball got away from him. Chris Nepham reads it, and he's in like a flash.
Into the starting lineup today. He's playing a searching ball for Thomas in behind. The grey-shirted North Macedonians head away. This is Elmas asking a lot of his teammate down there, Alioski, and it does go out of play for a Wales throw midway in their opponent's half. Craig Bellamy down there. Smart long grey coat, black shorts, the white trainers. Not entirely happy with something in particular down there, as we've got a bit of a light show here in this arena. The fans across from us have got the phone torches out, and around us here in this main stand. There's only shelter from the elements on these two stands that run along each sideline. And the lights are growing by the second. They're even joining in behind the goal. And there's one or two in the red wall who are also helping illuminate this pitch. We're used to a light show at the Cardiff City Stadium. This is one 32 minutes into this match at the Tos Prosecchi Arena, which is named after a Macedonian pop star. This is a sight and a stage he's probably more used to than the footballers, as the torches still flick on minute by minute. Wales in possession, and it's goalless as Ben Davies has a chance to switch it to Dan James. He leaps into the sky and just about clutches it onto his chest, the diminutive Leeds United winger. The boos are because Wales have set up camp inside the North Macedonia half. This is Broadhead looking for James on the near right, level with the edge of the penalty area. It's a stroll at the moment, plays a really good ball in behind for Jordan James, across the face of goal, and Thomas has missed an open goal at the back post. He still had a bit to do, but the goalkeeper was nowhere near it. He could have tapped it home, and in the end he just patched it across the face of the box, and North Macedonia scramble it away. The clearest chance of the game so far.
Such intelligence by Dan James and Jordan. Brilliant little run in behind. Dan James cuts inside, a little ball in behind for JJ. Lovely ball across, and I think Sober's just ahead of the ball. I think he shins it.
Here's James again into the box, burst between two. Wales want a penalty.
The ref thought about it.
He could have been better placed. He's only 5 yards away. Ball over the top down the other end. Darlah's got to come out of his goal.
Great positioning. Just keeps everything nice and calm. Well done, Mr. Darlow. A great opportunity there. Like I said, I think Sorba Thomas, brilliant position at that far post, exactly where you want him. I think he just gets ahead of the ball.
There is a potential penalty check here.
Yeah, I said the referee did think about it.
And it lasted all of 3 seconds. So
Well,
the replay, which we haven't seen, must have been pretty conclusive.
Yeah.
But Helen Ward back in the studio. What a chance for Sorba Thomas.
Yeah, an unbelievable chance. It started with a little over. I think it was from Josh Sheehan in the middle of the park. Let the ball through his legs to Nathan Broadhead. He linked up well with Dan James, who of course slipped in his namesake in Jordan, and yeah, fires a great ball across. And Blakey's right, he was just ahead of the ball. Needed to time it ever so slightly better and come onto it more, but he was sort of stretching behind him, and yeah, got it all wrong in the end. But a much more promising move, lots of patience, but more incisive play, which led to that chance, and you know, certainly something to build on.
That's the voice of the former Wales striker Helen Ward, who will be with us when international football returns in a couple of weeks. Wales against Denmark and Sweden against Wales in the Women's Nations League. Both those matches will be live on BBC Radio Wales. The musings there with Nathan Blake, who has seen a replay of the penalty incident.
Yeah, I think that's a penalty.
He got ever such a slight touch on the ball just before, but but very slight, and then it was almost in the next action that he brought him down. So you could argue that it could well have been a penalty, or at least taken a bit longer to look at.
Yeah, the ball had gone, right? The challenge came after. I think that's a pen for me.
Final 10 minutes of the first half. It wasn't given. They checked it. And it remains goalless as North Macedonia win a throw-in, pretty much by the corner flag in front of those travelling Wales supporters. And the tens of Welsh flags, the green, the white and the red, dotted around the hoardings. The throw's taken short. Macedonia on the edge of the penalty area. This is Alioski. Bardi, the captain, with Elmas. It's all walking pace at the moment. Wales happy to keep them where they are. The ball has stopped dead for a couple of moments there. Now back towards the halfway line, and they're going to have to go all the way back to the goalkeeper as Brennan Johnson charges down.
That's brilliant play from Wales. Absolutely brilliant.
Clears downfield to his opposite number, Darlow, and Wales get the ball back.
Yeah, it starts with Elmas on his left-hand side. Know your players. He definitely did. Seeing he was up against Dan James and thought, there's no way I'm doing him down the line. Tried to drop the shoulder a few times, went back out, and then Wales just pressed it and got all the way back to the goalkeeper. Really good defensive play.
Here's Thomas wide left for Wales to the byline, and he crosses, and the keeper has to punch from underneath his own crossbar. And behind for Wales' third corner of the game. If anyone's edging it, it's Wales. And they've taken it short. North Macedonia not ready over on the far left. James's cross is blocked by the one grey-shirted player who was on rushing. He's then lost the flight of the ball. Bardi might be able to get there again. Another great tackle. Mepham yet again. And this is Thomas. Wales attack once more to the edge of the penalty area. Sheehan's in acres of space, thinks about a shot, and he does crack it. It bounces just in front of the keeper, but he holds on to it and rolls on the floor.
Yeah, I like that. Don't mind that at all from Josh. Shooting from distance, especially that when it dips just in front of the keeper. If you're Brennan Johnson, just follow that in every time. Sooner or later, you'll get a little crumb. The easy tap in. A good play from Wales. Really solid defensively. Any mistakes being made, there's a friend in, a mate in to cover you. Seen that twice from Mepham now. Once or twice from Sheehan. It's been a good display without being, you know, electric or brilliant. Created enough chances, had enough set pieces. And definitely in control of this game.
They've had a glorious opportunity spurned by Sorba Thomas. 7 minutes left, plus stoppage time, and there'll be a sizable chunk after the injury to the North Macedonian goalkeeper. It's goalless, but here comes Elmas for the home side, and now they are attacking with pace, shuffling into the box, one way than the next, and Sheehan across to knock it behind for the home side's first corner, and the home fans respond with an ear-splitting noise.
Yeah, Dan's just showing him down the line. I'm not sure why. He knew Almas was there. Should have just cut off the line and shown him inside there. Just kind of left his mate Williams 1v1.
They're taking it short from the near left. Bardi, the skipper, plays it to the edge of the box. Alioski curls it in. It's headed into the edge of the back post. Jordan James wasn't sure who was where, so just hooks it behind for a second successive North Macedonian corner. But it's going to be from the other side, the far right. Bardi, the captain, goes across. And those supporters in the steep-sided stand across from us acknowledge him as he makes his way. All the grey shirts at the back of the penalty area, on the edge of the box, waiting to attack and spring forward. 5.5 to go in the first half. Outswinger actually floated high towards the edge of the box, and then on the volley it's Alioski. That would have been some goal. It's behind into the vast blue running track behind Darlow's goal to our left-hand side.
Yeah, great effort, but like you say, left-footed, almost at the corner of the box there. Good effort. It would have been goal of the season, that.
They are still searching for the first goal in this match in Skopje, the capital of North Macedonia, a country who were part of Yugoslavia until 1991. Also on the banks of the river Vardar. On the other side of that is the Macedonian fort with a big flag, which is the highest point in the city. There's some great sights to see, and the travelling Red Wall have seen them all this afternoon. The Alexander the Great statue.
That's all right, mate. You don't have to say anything about that. Thank you very much.
And of course Mother Teresa's house, as one of our colleagues was desperate to see.
Yeah.
He only mentioned it about 15 times.
Yeah, and then left after about 3 minutes. Left us in there for 20 minutes.
No, but she was born here in Skopje. And what we're watching right now is quite a tense match. Nothing to choose between the teams, but Wales are certainly on top at the moment. Broadhead on this near right. James shuffles in. He goes past one. The rebound might break to him. The defender has to come across and just hack it high into the sky and out for a Wales throw.
Do you know what? Yeah, against Kazakhstan, Helen made the point she prefers Dan James on this right-hand side. He's so dangerous. You know, he attacks the line, the byline, which is exactly what you want from a winger. But when he decides to go inside, he's so quick off the mark. Defenders can't live with him.
Might break for Johnson inside the penalty area. He wriggled past one, and then the Macedonian players get in each other's way, and it's cleared to this near side. It dribbles just about over the line whitewash for a Wales throw in the right position as Kazakhstan take the lead in the other game in Wales's group against Liechtenstein. And that throw-in comes to nothing. It's a goal kick. And Liechtenstein are Wales's next opponents at the Cardiff City Stadium on June the 6th. That will be live on BBC One Wales and BBC Radio Wales. We are with them every step of the way in this World Cup qualifying campaign. Your team for Welsh sport. Final 2 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half. Are we going to see a goal before the interval? It's on the halfway line and stolen by Thomas. Jordan James loses it, but is fouled in the process. He's left in a crumpled heap right on the halfway line. As we see a replay of this, he does it, the knee rattles into his ankle.
Bone.
Jordan James is back up, and the ball's back in play, and the scoreline remains 0-0. This is Mepham and Roden. Wales have had 59% possession so far in this first half. They're ahead on all the metrics apart from the one that really matters, the scoreline. 0-0. Roden again. Williams over the halfway line. Down beneath us, looking for the run of Johnson. Goes too far and collected by the goalkeeper. I still think he's moving about a little gingerly after that long stoppage. And we're going to find out how many minutes that's going to put on to the end of this first half very shortly. A referee's now stopping Brennan Johnson from closing down the goalkeeper, even though he's just stood there. He's come across the French referee. And you can hear what the locals think about it. And Craig Bellamy is asking the fourth official in the burgundy jacket there what Brennan Johnson has done wrong. It's actually a free kick. He just stood 5 yards away from him, Brennan Johnson, and didn't move. And the goalkeeper took exception to that. Second goal in quick succession for Kazakhstan, away to Liechtenstein. That's elsewhere in Wales's group, Group J. And here comes the board for the added minutes. There will be 4 at the end of this first half. And the keeper has to come out of his penalty area to sky it up towards the halfway line. The heads go up. Who does that touch last? It's a North Macedonia throw. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales. The BBC Sounds app, if you've downloaded that to your smartphone or tablet and take us out and about tonight. Or you might be listening to us on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. We've got you covered, however you are choosing to join us, and we thank you for joining us this evening, bringing this game into your homes or your car. And this is Dan James bursting forward. He's lost the ball. There's a nutmeg in there by Alioski on Broadhead. As Macedonia get the ball back. And that one goes out of play for a Wales throw. Which Williams will take. We've played 1 minute of the added 4 in this first half. It remains goalless. There's a foul here on Broadhead, on Johnson, and a yellow card as well. That's Serafimov. Helen, is that a sign of a little bit of North Macedonian frustration?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think they're finding it a tough game for themselves to get into, you know, not retaining possession particularly well. Had a couple of corners obviously not too long ago, but other than that it's been very much in Wales's control, and maybe some of the players just feeling like it's beginning to get away from them a little bit. Still nothing for them to really panic about, but I think they can feel the threat that the likes of Brennan Johnson, Sorba Thomas, with their pace in behind. That tackle screamed of a, well, I'll deal with it here on the halfway line rather than having to run 60 yards back to my goal.
This is Sheehan. Well, one last Wales attack, perhaps. 90 seconds left of this first half. Dan James down the line, looking for Broadhead. It's knocked out for a corner to Wales. And they will have the final say here. Sorba Thomas coming across, puts the wet ball, wipes it under his shirt. As the referee's just having a word about some pushing and shoving at the back post. I think the aggressor might be Zakov. It's here at the number 5 and Joe Roden, who are being spoken to by the French referee. Thomas waits to take. 30 seconds left of added time. Whistles around this ground. Headed away as it was an outswinger by Thomas. The ball back to him is good though. This is Dan James across the face of the penalty area. They were looking for Brennan Johnson. The grey shirts are able to clear it away. wasn't quite on the money for Brennan Johnson, and then Dan James has committed a foul. And there's a yellow card for the North Macedonian manager, Blagocha Milevski, for something he said. And he is not happy with that one whatsoever, having given the referee quite a steely gaze. They've then hugged, shook hands and are friends again. And we're now into a 5th minute of added time. The free kick is headed away by Davis for Wales, and there is the half-time whistle. Nothing to choose between the two teams. Wales have had the best chance though, spurned by Sorba Thomas. The red shirts race down the field. They've had a shout for a penalty as well. Much for Craig Bellamy to ponder at the interval here in Skopje. It is North Macedonia 0, Wales 0.
Wales make their pressure pay.
Follow Wales with every game of the Women's Six Nations live on BBC Radio Wales.
All of us are inspiring little girls and little boys to play. You've got to see it to be it. Seeing those faces lighting up after 80 minutes of a tough game is worth it.
Wales with a sublime counter-attack try.
Next up, it's Wales versus England. Saturday afternoon. Kick-off at 4:45 on Radio Wales. Listen live on BBC Sounds.
Yes, we've got Wales internationals wherever you look at the moment on Radio Wales and Sounds. The Women's Six Nations continuing on Saturday in Cardiff. Our build-up to that one starts at 2. It is the big one, Wales against England. Tonight it is World Cup football, then qualification and match day number 2, and it is a tricky one, a tough one for Wales away to North Macedonia. Goalless at half-time. Helen Ward alongside me. It's gritty, it's grimy, it's sweaty. It's not particularly pleasant to watch at times, but the chances that Wales have had, Helen, how will Craig Bellamy be feeling? Because you wonder how many more chances they're going to keep getting.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed they've not taken 1 or 2 of those chances, but at the same time I think he'll be overall pretty pleased with how they've played in that first half, without, you know, being overly exciting, I suppose. But they've had North Macedonia well within their grasp and in their control. You know, we're just looking 60 to 40% possession, and that feels about right. 3 more attempts on target than North Macedonia, and you know, you'd have to say that they're definitely the team in control, but it's just about taking that next step and making one of those chances count. And of course that Sorba Thomas one being the big one that you'd hope he'd do better with.
Yeah, because there wasn't much, was there, between the early effort from Jordan James, which you thought then, well, this is going to be, you know, they're going to go for it and they're going to fire in shot. But they didn't really follow that up, did they, until the opportunity came for Sorba Thomas. There was also the penalty claim. What did you make of that? A few people saying on socials that maybe it was outside the box, that foul on Dan James, so VAR wouldn't therefore intervene. Yeah,
perhaps, but then it did feel like it carried on with it into the box, which is, you know, something that they can look at. But yeah, I think the first, aside from the Jordan James effort, the first sort of 20 minutes, the teams are sort of finding each other out and feeling their way into the game. But certainly the last 15-20 minutes or so, Wales came into their own a little bit more, and as we said, the Sorba Thomas chance and that potential penalty, it looked a foul at the very least. And yeah, we've only seen the one quick replay of it, so hard to see whether it was in or outside the box. But you know, a sign of the intent, and Dan James being a constant threat down this right-hand side, as we know he can be, and that certainly seems to be where the threat is coming from, on the right-hand side. I think the 3 players that have come into the team have done pretty well as well, so that's good for Craig Bellamy. But yeah, there's definitely more chances in this, but it's really important we take one hopefully early on in the second half.
And at the other end of the pitch, defensively, they do look pretty sound, would you say? They've sort of restricted North Macedonia to sort of long-range efforts.
Yeah, I think one of the things Nathan picked up on in commentary was the position of Carl Darlow a couple of times sweeping up from behind his back 4. But I think Chris Mepham, you know, maybe a couple of eyebrows raised that he's come into the team. But for me, when he puts on the red shirt of Wales, he always steps up, and I think he's having a really solid game. Couple of really important tackles to to save his teammates in dangerous areas. And yeah, he's really stepped up, and that whole back four looks pretty assured to me. That, as you know, as I think Mark said, they're keeping North Macedonia at arm's length, and you know, Craig couldn't be happy with the defensive side of the performance, I'm sure.
Let's hope there are more chances then for those men in red in the second half. I wonder if a mistake might decide this qualifier or not. We'll find out. Second half commentary to come then. Helen Ward, Nathan Blake and Mark Poyser there in Skopje. And we will round up the rest of the day's sporting headlines shortly for you. That's after we get the latest BBC Radio Wales news now and the weather with Ellen Alexander.
This is Radio Wales on BBC Sounds or on your smart speaker. Play BBC Radio Wales.
President Trump has robustly defended his national security advisor, Michael Waltz, who added a journalist to a private messaging group in which classified information was shared. The journalist revealed he had seen plans about the bombing of Houthi rebels in Yemen. President Trump told reporters that Mr. Waltz was doing a very good job and gave this response when asked whether he would ban the use of the messaging app Signal.
Everybody else seems to be using it. It seems to be the number one used device or app, whatever you want to call it. And we will certainly look. If it was up to me, everybody would be sitting in a room together. The room would have solid lead walls and a lead ceiling and a lead floor. But, you know, life doesn't always let you do that.
The US says Ukraine and Russia have agreed to a ceasefire in the Black Sea, stopping military strikes there and guaranteeing passage for commercial shipping. President Zelensky has accused Russia of engaging in manipulation after the Kremlin later added the conditions to the deal that sanctions must be lifted from Russian banks involved in international trade in food and fertilizers. The BBC's diplomatic correspondent James Landale said many questions remained.
Will both sides make this deal work? Will they live up to it? Because in the answers to those questions, we might learn more about their motives. Do they really want these small steps, these small limited ceasefire agreements to build up into something longer, a more sustained peace settlement? Or are they just more interested in trading more goods while they press home their advantage on the battlefield?
An inquest opening has heard a woman died as a result of injuries from a gunshot wound to the chest in Talbot Green. 40-year-old Joanne Penny was found by police at a flat in Green Park earlier this month. 6 people have been charged in connection with her death, 5 with murder and 1 with assisting an offender. Nellie Bird has more.
During today's hearing, the court heard that a post-mortem examination had been carried out and that the cause of death was recorded as a gunshot wound to the left chest involving the heart and left lung. And it was also revealed that the 40-year-old was originally from Aberdare but had no fixed address when she died.
A misconduct hearing has been told that a senior police officer who allegedly touched female colleagues inappropriately at a Christmas party also set a misogynistic culture at work. It is also alleged that Superintendent Gary Davis of Dyfed-Powys Police made references to the appearance or sexuality of female members of staff, which included referring to them as cars such as Rolls-Royce. He denies claims that he fostered or contributed to an atmosphere of a boys' club and denies that he has acted in a discriminatory way. He will give evidence later in the misconduct hearing, which is due to last 2 to 3 weeks. The Isle of Man has become the first place in the British Isles to approve assisted dying. Their parliament passed proposals to give adults with less than 12 months to live, who've lived on the island for at least 5 years, the right to choose to end their lives. That's the BBC News for Wales.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
Mostly clear skies tonight with just a few patches of cloud in the south. Areas of mist and fog will develop too. Lows of between 1 to 3 Celsius in northern, central and eastern areas, 4 to 6 Celsius in the west and far south. Mist and fog will be slow to clear in places tomorrow morning. After it lifts, there will be plenty of sunshine and a few areas of cloud around coastal areas to the west. Highs of between 12 to 17 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
Live football on BBC Radio Wales Sport.
Thank you very much, Ellen. Welcome back to the programme. Ian Hunt with you this Tuesday evening for live international football, then halfway through Wales' second World Cup qualifier. And it's goalless in North Macedonia. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the group, Kazakhstan 2-0 up away to Liechtenstein. And nothing really shifts as it stands in the table. North Macedonia still top on goal difference ahead of Wales. Kazakhstan up to third at the moment. We will see where we are at around 20-10 when it will be full-time or there or thereabouts in those games. Second half commentary on the way then here on Radio Wales Sport, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. Let's just run you through a few other sports headlines. Newcastle's in-form striker Alexander Isak was among the goals as Sweden hammered Northern Ireland 5-1 in a friendly at the Strawberry Arena in Stockholm earlier on. Real Madrid are in talks over finalising the signing of Liverpool fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold on a free transfer this summer. And in rugby, the Wales flanker Tommy Reffell has signed a new deal with Leicester Tigers. It keeps him at the English Premiership side for next season. And the Wales winger Lisa Newman has extended her contract at Harlequins. Newman started on Saturday in Wales' defeat to Scotland. That was the opening match of the Women's Six Nations. And Radio Wales Sport will be live from the Principality Stadium this coming Saturday for the biggest match of the group, Wales against England. So, Helen Ward's with me here in the Cardiff studio and Mark Poyser, our commentator in Skopje. It is goalless at the break. And Mark, I suppose we obviously turn to the substitutes bench to look at whether Craig Bellamy could spring a surprise, maybe spring a game changer from the bench. He's got players there, hasn't he, who are proven goal scorers for Wales. Kiefer Moore, Liam Cullen, David Brooks and Rabbi Matondo. He must have confidence in those boots after Saturday. You wonder whether he will get the opportunity to get on again.
Well, you think there would be changes if this stays 0-0. Certainly with Wales on top. If they were on the back foot, maybe he would try and consolidate, but they've certainly had the better of the game so far, and they've had the best chance. And someone like Rabbi Matondo, what we do know about him is he has got absolutely searing pace. You can have him on one side, and they have struggled with Dan James in particular as well. That's where Wales's joy has come from, with him cutting in from this near side. Those have been their best moments in the first half. But as well, we've also talked in the first half too about Brennan Johnson playing as the fulcrum and maybe holding the ball up and bringing others into play. Is maybe not necessarily his game away from home, and maybe that is someone like Kiefer Moore, for example. He is, by the way, warming up on the pitch down beneath me at the moment amongst the other Wales substitutes. So we will see, because Craig Bellamy always keeps us guessing, doesn't he?
He certainly does, Helen Ward, that's for sure. You might have been surprised, as I'm sure a lot of Wales fans were, that Kiefer Moore didn't start tonight, but Broadhead, he said before the game, Craig Bellamy, he likes him as a player and what he can offer. But has that worked? Do you think Kiefer Moore should come on?
I don't think it hasn't worked necessarily, but yeah, I think Kiefer Moore is always a great option to have if you want to change things up. But the way that Wales play, we don't tend to stick balls high into the box very often. If we decide to change and the game plan requires that we do that, then of course Kiefer Moore would be the obvious option. But you know, we're trying to build up through the thirds and play in those little 10 pockets where players come, that he likes the forwards to come into feet and, you know, link up with small passes, and maybe that suits the likes of Broadhead and Brennan Johnson, and get runners in and around them, you know, to make those sort of slight runs inside the channels. But yeah, certainly he's an option to come off the bench, as is Rabbi Matondo as well, as we saw on Saturday. So it's good to have different options, but I think at this moment, with the way that Craig Bellamy wants to play, he's probably not number one choice to play in that number 9 role at the moment.
No, limited opportunities really, perhaps under Craig Bellamy. Nathan Blake is with us as well. We've just seen you on the telly, Nathan, doing a bit at half-time for Match of the Day. Are you okay? You're a bit breathless there? You've got about 800 steps to go up, I think.
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. I just flew up here.
You fly everywhere. Would you make any changes?
Do you know what? I totally understand what Ellen's saying about the Kiefer Moore situation, and she's right. I think Craig is going for that sort of fluent front three, but I wouldn't mind seeing like Brennan Johnson dropping to the 10 and let Nathan play up at the 9 then, because I think someone's got to play at that sort of platform role from time to time. I think the ball, when it goes into Brennan, we've seen every time he's tried to lay it off one touch, and often it's just not even on. You would just take a second touch because you're not sure what's around you, but it's like he's looking to get rid of the ball before he's even got it, and you know that doesn't like bode well for your sort of the counter attack, because what it does, you give the ball away when everyone's on the front foot and pressing, and all of a sudden one bad pass and a pass out from the back and they're at your back four. So I wouldn't mind seeing Nathan have a go at maybe that number 9 if he doesn't want to bring on like a Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, Fix the Football podcast, Helen was saying apparently the Kiefer Moore's only 5 goals behind Craig Bellamy in the goal scoring charts. Maybe that's the reason he doesn't want to. That's it. It's a bit cynical thinking, isn't it? But yeah,
that's not like you.
Helen Warden. Chess comes to mind there somehow. Record goal scorers and all that.
Yeah, but if I was the manager of the team just before she was about to break the record, I'm pretty sure I'd have to put my personal pride aside, and you'd like to hope that Craig Bellamy is not thinking in that way. And 5 goals in international football is actually quite a big margin, to be fair. So he's not quite, you know, chasing them down just yet, but I'm sure if he goes on and gets a couple of goals, Craig Bellamy will be the first one to celebrate with him.
We joke, I'm sure he's not even aware of that stat, Craig Bellamy. They're back out then. I think Wales were out first for the second half. We can't see any changes yet, Mark Poyser. You will tell us otherwise if that is wrong, but North Macedonia also out, and I'm sure they're going to make life tough for Wales as they did during that first half. Here we go then, BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. And it is Helen, Nathan and Mark Poyser for second half commentary.
Thank you, Ian. Indeed, there is no changes to either side. Welcome back here to Skopje, the Toz Proseki Arena in the capital city of Macedonia. And if Wales are looking for pace in the second half, maybe Nathan Blake could come out of retirement. I've never seen you move that fast. Pitch side to the very back of this main stand within 5 minutes.
And I'm not out of breath.
Well, the water on your forehead tells a different story.
Oh, well, the water might, but the skewers and the sugarloaf, that's exactly what, you know, they come into play, come in handy.
We're across all outlets this evening, BBC Wales, TV and radio, and Wales in possession. There's an offside flag given against Brennan Johnson. Wales once again all in red with the white and green flashes on the shirts and shorts, though in the second half kicking from right to left, so towards those 2,000 travelling Wales fans. They're way back from the goal line with this big blue running track around this vast open stadium. North Macedonia in the dark grey shirts with the light grey sleeves. As Johnson almost gets hold of the loose ball, it's Roden. I'll remind you of the two teams in just a moment. Nico Williams down to the far right to James, who's one-on-one, Dan James that is. Gets the cross in and it's blocked for a throw. So the Wales team is Darlow in goal. Williams, Roden, Mepham and Davis. Jordan James and Sheehan, with Broadhead in there as well. And then it's Thomas, Dan James and Brennan Johnson. From that throw, Wales went short and conceded a free kick. And for North Macedonia, who are ranked 67th in the world, 38 places below Wales in the FIFA World Rankings, Dimitrevski of Valencia is in goal. He's come out of the penalty area to take this free kick in his sky blue kit. Zaikov, Serafimov and Musliu. And then it's Ilievski, Almi, Bardi the captain and Alioski. And a front three of Krostadinov, Miovski and Elmas. This is Sorba Thomas for Wales. Into Jordan James in the penalty area, across the face of goal. And it was behind the run of Dan James. He towed it, hoping to find a teammate. It was in between James and Sheehan.
Those back players, Rodan and Mepham, they've been immense. Alongside the two full-backs, Davis and Williams. They've looked so solid tonight. Swept with any sort of mistakes their teammates have made. Really comfortable. Stop any major attacks happening. Which, like I said in the first half, Mark, it just dampens the crowd. Doesn't get them up. No momentum able to be built.
Wales slowing it down now. They've had a lot more of the possession. They've had the game's best chance in the first half. As we watch on from our really high commentary position, that's a lovely layoff by Brennan Johnson. It couldn't quite be gathered by Broadhead. And Nico Williams, a thunderous challenge though. North Macedonia clear, taken on the chest by Mepham. This stadium with its yellow and red seats mimicking the North Macedonian flag. It's all one tier, but vastly open and really steep sides. And we're right on the banks of the River Vador as well, which goes into town. Here's Sorba Thomas trying to get it back from Brennan Johnson on the edge of the box. Dispossessed, and Bardi will lead the counter-attack for North Macedonia. They're over the halfway line now as the noise increases inside this ground. And there's space to collect that cross wide on the left, but the red shirts have scrambled back into position. And they have been well organised, and as Nathan was saying, the two centre-halves in particular have barely put a foot wrong so far. 4 minutes into the second half, and Wales get a throw by their own corner flag far right.
Yeah, I have to say, there's been a lot of hype around, and we've paid them massive respect, North Macedonia, but up to now, this first 50 minutes, relatively disappointed with them in attack, especially.
Well, they reached the Euro 2020 finals. That was their first ever major tournament. But they were eliminated in the group stages, lost all of their matches. And they got to the playoffs for the World Cup 4 years ago, but lost in the final to Portugal. And they're about to enter Nations League B for the very first time in their history, having won all of their, or gone unbeaten in all of their group games, which included Armenia, who we know Wales had some trouble with. Dan James prevents that going out of play for a goal kick, but it's only a North Macedonian throw. You are listening to BBC Radio Wales on all our frequencies, on digital television, BBC Sounds on your smartphone or tablet, or 5 Sports Extra as well. And no one has flinched yet in this clash of the two early front-runners in Group J in World Cup qualifying. And what is fast becoming a chilly evening here in North Macedonia, although when you've just run up however many flights of stairs like Nathan has, the coat is off.
Yeah, I've also had a text off my boys as well, having a little darts match saying, well, do you think we'll get a goal? So to Simon, Morris, Sam and the boys, I'm not sure, gentlemen, because at the moment I don't think we're creating quite enough.
It's the former Wales striker Nathan Blake alongside me here in Skopje. Helen Ward is watching back in the studio as well. This is Sheehan. We are watching him turn and find Nico Williams in space, wide on the right. Up to the edge of the North Macedonia penalty area. James, Dan James that is, to Broadhead. But all the grey shirts are back in position. Wales happy to go from one side to the next and be patient and look for the angle. We've seen them do this in the first half. Jordan James shoots from distance. It's a shot on target. It's a comfortable save for the goalkeeper, but Wales, Helen Ward, are pretty much picking up where they left off for most of that first half, controlling possession. Yeah, they certainly are. They're frustrating Macedonia in terms of not letting them have the ball, and then when they do get it, as Nathan said, that back four are mopping up brilliantly, particularly those two centre-halves and Cole Darlow, to be fair. And yeah, they're just looking to probe, and that word patience again comes to mind. Not sort of going all out just yet, but just looking to move the North Macedonians to create some spaces and some angles. Still not quite coming off, but creeping up the pitch again and starting to dominate territory once again, which is a good sign. And I don't mind the long-range shots from the likes of JJ, but you know, going to take a little bit more than that to beat a decent goalkeeper. It's Johnson, corner of the penalty area, and a very late flag. He collected the ball, dribbled with it for a couple of moments before the assistant on the far side put it in the air, as the home fans are trying to rally their team The vast majority of the supporters are in the two stands that run parallel to the sidelines of this pitch. They were bellowing at each other. Behind the goal to the right, where Macedonia are attacking, there are lots of red and yellow flags daubed everywhere. And down the other end, where the 2,000 travelling Red Wall members are, there's tens of red, white and green Welsh flags as Macedonia curl it into the penalty area. It's watched by Darlow sail past everyone. He was aware there was no one in grey in the penalty area. Nico Williams pumps downfield. As Craig Bellamy strides across the blue running track in that smart suit with the white trousers. He's wearing that in tribute to the 59 people who died in that nightclub fire in the small town Kakani, 60 miles east of where we are. They're both wearing black armbands, the two teams, to mark a national period of mourning which came to an end yesterday. This Wales on the attack. Nico Williams playing a 1-2 with Broadhead. Gets to the edge of the box and Broadhead offers some support. Slow and patient from Wales. Dan James inside the box now. Scurries round the outside. Brennan Johnson slipped over on the wet turf. North Macedonia clear, headed back into the penalty area. The grey shirts nod clear once more. It's scrappy from both teams. Bardi then tries to come forward. It's a brilliant sliding tackle by Nico Williams. And he's got the free kick as well.
Yeah, brilliant by Broadhead as well. Really good play.
We're 10 minutes nearly into the second half. We're still no closer to finding someone to break the deadlock. Wales continue to be in the North Macedonia half. As we look down, we almost have a bird's eye view of this pitch. Dan James goes around the outside, checks back inside. The defender missed the kick at the near post. It went right across the face of the 6-yard box and sails, thankfully for North Macedonia, past the post. That could have been a real mess.
That's when you know a defender is really fortunate, when his fellow centre-half comes and gives him a high five. That was a hairy moment. Oh, so fortunate. Brennan's thinking, maybe if I gambled. But, yeah, really fortunate there, Macedonia.
That's where you wonder if an out-and-out number 9 takes a little run at the back post there, or even the opposite winger. I don't know where Sorba Thomas was. It's difficult to see on the TV, but yeah, you feel that was a half a chance.
There's a North Macedonian player down as the home side continue their attack to the Wales penalty area. Slowly back to his feet, it's the striker, Mueski. And they're waiting for him to rejoin the attack before they go with any purpose. Ben Davies with a good tackle. Sorba Thomas is sent cartwheeling into the air, sandwiched between two. Play continues and there's a good ball to Brennan Johnson. He's only got Dan James with him. He's to the edge of the penalty area. He's past his man into the box. He cuts back. He finds Broadhead and it opened up for him. He's put it high and wide. He had in his hands. Great chance for Nathan Broadhead as Sorba Thomas lays on the turf, holding his head down the other end.
Yeah, look, really dangerous that. So we seem to land on his head, sort of crick or twist his neck, but glad to see him up. It's not really a foul. Well, actually got his hands there first, so he took away most of the impact, but still a sore one.
And a good chance down the other end, Helen, for Broadhead.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if Brennan Johnson could have flashed it across the goal with his left foot. Dan James was coming in from the other side, but, you know, he did OK and he found Nathan Broadhead, and he'd expect a player at this level would be able to at least hit the target from there. He had time, set himself with a good first touch, but, yeah, got way too much on it.
This is Thomas back up on his feet and attacking for Wales. He pulls it back to Johnson. He collects and tries a little nutmeg, and it just wasn't on. And the chance disappears. I was just going to say Nathan Broadhead, of course, I mentioned this in the first half, 2 years ago today, since he scored on his debut in the last minute against Croatia. Here come North Macedonia. towards the edge of the Wales box, wide on the left. They're inside the box. They shoot. It hits the head of Roden. It's like a magnet. He's either against his forehead or Mepham. The two of them always seemingly in the right place tonight in Skopje whenever they need to. Sorba Thomas sent tumbling again. And Wales are either going to get a free kick or a throw. It's certainly a red-shirted ball.
Yeah, I think if Sorba gets that opportunity again, he just flashes across the box, left-footed. Dan James was coming in. Broadhead was coming in also. Chose to cut it back to Brennan Johnson. But you can see Dan James steaming in at the far post. And he was ahead of his defender also, which is usually the sign to put the ball across the box. Chose not to though, Sorba. That's a nice bit of play.
And this is Jordan James, central field, inside the North Macedonian half. Wide to this near left to Sorba Thomas. Jordan James again cutting in. He's going to shoot. Blocked on that occasion. As we see a cluster of Wales. The substitutes warming up, and we're having now the applause because we're in the 59th minute. And there's a light show as well with the torches to remember the 59 people who so tragically died in that nightclub fire earlier this month in North Macedonia. The whole stadium is on its feet applauding, including the travelling Wales supporters. The game has stopped meanwhile because of an injury to a North Macedonian player. Every spectator on their feet applauding, and nearly every spectator has their mobile phone torch on. We've seen a number of tributes this evening already, and a big Macedonian flag behind the goal being waved as well. It's almost fitting that the game has stopped, so a nation can pay tribute in its moment of sadness.
Yeah, life is precious, Mark. Very precious. And people are just fed up with seeing so much bad news and death on the news daily, seems to be.
Well, here come some changes. Cherlinov is coming on for Almi. And the other change is going to be Atanasov. And that's going to be Zakov who comes off. So a defender off for a midfielder.
It'd be interesting if they switch systems then.
Well, Craig Bellamy was talking in his press conference yesterday. Nathan, you sat in on that about they normally play with a 4. Will they switch to a 3? How will they see us? How will they perceive us? And they did change formation.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them now.
And now they've gone to a back 4.
Seem to be playing a 4-2-3-1 at the moment. The shape looks like to me. So they've blinked first.
Almost like a chess match now in the second half. An hour gone, and listen to this noise inside this stadium.
Yeah, they've not been able to get any momentum in the game. That's how Wales have done so well. Like I say, they've adapted to any sort of press, any sort of counter press. They've been brilliant tonight, Wales. And, yeah, it's North Macedonia who've had to make the changes to try and gain some momentum in this game.
It remains 0-0. It stays that way. North Macedonia would stay top of the group on goal difference. Wales would remain unbeaten under Craig Bellamy. Take their run to 8 matches. Kiefer Moore is coming on for Wales. He's a name that you've been mentioning, Helen, for a while. What impact do you think he can have?
Well, I think he just gives a bit more of a focal point for any attacks, and I think Brennan Johnson has struggled a little bit with holding the ball up, so maybe that's one angle, but also potentially with is it a reaction to the change, coming up against 2 centre-halves rather than 3, maybe a bit more opportunity to get the ball into the box higher up rather than, on the floor. Get some crosses in the air and aim for Kiefer Moore in the box, as we know he can be so dangerous in there. So maybe just a little change of focal point for Wales, and giving the big man an opportunity to go and add to his goal tally.
It's Dan James who comes off, Kiefer Moore comes on, and Nathan Brennan-Johnson has gone to play wide on the far right.
Yeah, that surprised me, to be fair. I thought it was Nathan or Brennan would come off and you would keep Sorba and Dan on the wings, because they've been decent tonight, look dangerous. And when you've got that focal point, that centre forward who can hold the ball up, you also bring in those wingers to make those outside the in runs behind defenders. They become second strikers then. So a little surprised, but you can still play the same system. Just surprised it was Dan James that was withdrawn.
We're past the hour mark now here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds, 5 Sports Extra. It is still goalless. First touch for Kiefer Moore, he gives it away to the North Macedonian captain Bardia. That's a fine ball wide to the far left. Elmas will collect, cross into the box, it reaches the back post. This is a chance, and that's a fine save from Karl Darlow. Beats out the challenge from Cherlinov, who almost scored with his first touch, and that will increase the noise inside this ground. Macedonia's best moment of the game.
If you're Kiefer Moore there, you're praying. Absolutely praying. I know it's your first touch and a bit rusty, but what you've been brought on to do, the first thing you do is give the ball away.
I'm saying he's nearly made me look really silly. So he's come on to hold the ball up.
And Karl Darlow's had almost nothing to do. Made a really strong save. That was arrowing into the top corner. Wales, meantime, have gone down the other end and want to throw, probably level with the penalty spot on this near left side. It goes back to Ben Davies with the navy blue captain's armband on his left bicep. And this is Roden with the white taping on the left wrist in the centre circle. Wales happy to have it on the halfway line. Now they move forward with Broadhead, who's now got Johnson for company. This is Nico Williams. Dan James has gone off, so just the one James on the ball. This is Jordan James, shooting chance, edge of the box into Kiefer Moore, who did try to hold it up. Heavy touch though.
I think the defender got a foot in, to be honest with you, Mark. He's trying to back in. See his body shape. And as he's in the air trying to back in, the defender just pokes his leg through, gets contact with the ball.
It remains goalless though. And there must be some rain clouds in the air, because that Millennium Cross on top of that mountain in the distance, just ever so slightly gets not quite as clear. There doesn't appear to be any rain at the moment. It has been a wet afternoon in Skopje. You can see the wet patches all around this big, vast blue running track. Wales in red going from right to left towards their travelling supporters in this second half. Thomas with a cross, flicked into the air and over the bar by Jordan James.
Yeah, just got too much on the header. Well, that's the first time we've seen Kiefer Moore come into play. Holds up the ball, back to Sheehan, so that straight pass, and then Sheehan's able to clip it out to this left-hand side to Sorbo, puts the ball in the box right-footed. Jordan James makes the run, he's just trying to skim it, so it just guides to the back post, but got a bit of a blockhead. Howard Jordan just got too much on it.
The other Wales substitutes available to them, by the way, are the goalkeepers Ward and Davis, Cabango, Allen, Lawrence, Matondo, Brooks, Roberts, Cullen, Lewis Kumas, who was added to the squad, not included in the match day on Saturday, and Mark Harris. You can't quite see Craig Bellamy anymore. He appears right on cue from the red-covered Perspex dugout beneath us. They're incredibly long to house all the substitutes and coaching staff. Bellamy's assistants in the green jackets. And this is Ben Davies, very much all in red, leading this Wales team here in Skopje. Roden. Again to Davis, again it's around the halfway line. Thomas hugging this near left into Jordan James. Now they move forward into the box. He's going to do well to keep it in under pressure. Keep it in, he does. Give it away though. Kiefer Moore wins it back, and he's penalised for a foul, which looks generous at best. But the French referee gives North Macedonia a free kick, and it remains 0-0 with 22 minutes left.
Yeah, I didn't think Trilanov ever had control of that ball, to be honest with you. He's very fortunate to get a free kick there. It's a little bit of body contact, but I didn't say that was a foul.
Well, we will hope to bring you reaction, however this finishes, from Craig Bellamy before Eleri Sean takes over here on BBC Radio Wales at 10. There'll be plenty more on Radio Wales Breakfast in the morning from 7 with Dot Davis and Catherine Helleth. Johnson loses the header. Kiefer Moore almost retrieves for Wales on the halfway line. It's North Macedonia in possession. It is still scoreless in Skopje. All over the top, will run through to Darlow. He's in green with the yellow trim. Has this game reached stalemate? Or can somebody make themselves a hero, write their name into tomorrow's headlines?
At the moment, you say if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be someone in a red shirt.
But whilst they've been on top, Nathan, they're not exactly knocking at the door.
No, this patient build-up, it's okay, and you don't want the end-to-end. You want to keep control of the game. I love that part. But Wales is stronger down his left-hand side, most definitely.
Well, Thomas, it's a good job he's got white boots on, because they'd be covered in the whitewash. He is hugging that touchline down there on this near left, making the pitch as wide as possible. It's going to come to him now from Mepham, midway in the North Macedonia half, with the deadlock still to be broken. Ben Davies round the corner to Jordan James. And now Ben Davies has continued his run into the penalty area. Has to hook it back to the edge of the box and only finds a grey shirt. And that big booming clearance will go nowhere other than out of play for a Wales throw.
Yeah, you have to say, like I said earlier, really disappointed with North Macedonia. Expected a bit more from them. All that's been said and written, although in all fairness is still 0-0, so they haven't conceded a goal for a long time. Wales not really pressed on that pedal yet.
This is Thomas going all the way, and the cross will loop back. Keeper's fumbled it, and it's cleared off the line. Brennan Johnson with a volley. Everyone looked for the referee to bring the game to a close. He has now. They wanted a free kick. There was a split second where people stopped. The keeper and defender got in each other's way. It came to Brennan Johnson, who fired it towards goal, but the defender was on the line. Right place, right time.
That's strange, because it seemed to go out of play. I have to say, Solver Thomas, great run down his left-hand side, under a lot of pressure, and it must have just, as he's gone across it, must have just clipped the defender, looped up over, looked like he was going out of play, stayed in, and of course, the opportunity falls to Brennan Johnson, puts it on target, but blocked on the line, unfortunately.
There's a lot of uncertainty in there, Helen.
Yeah, there was. It did look like if Brennan Johnson had put it in the back of the net, I feel like there could have been a maybe quite lengthy VAR check with the ball. Did look like it looped out, as Nathan said, but you know, while that's not been given on the pitch, the players have to carry on, and credit to Brennan Johnson, he watches that all the way onto his left foot. He hits it cleanly, just wasn't able to get it past the defender on the line. But you have to say, really good play from Sorba Thomas. You're saying it, they look dangerous down the left-hand side, Wales, in this second half, and he's at the forefront of everything good at the moment for Wales. So I think the tactic's got to be try and get him into the game as much as possible.
Now Craig Bellamy took off his coat and his jacket. It didn't last long, all of about 4 seconds, and then he called for the jacket once again. Not quite as warm as he thought it was. For all those who are interested in what he's wearing, including our very own Ian Hunt. It's 0-0. That's all the information that really matters. 18 minutes to go. And North Macedonia breaking forward if they can keep it in with Muslik, and they can. Wide on the far left. Having been on top for so long, Wales do not want to fall behind here. Every red shirt, though, is behind the ball. They're midway in the Wales half. They've got space, though, wide on the left. And they're into the penalty. A chance for Bardi, and it's blocked by Roden. From a tight angle, North Macedonia corner. Listen to the noise here. They've been silent nearly all game, and it's deafening. Corner wide on the left, as David Brooks is being readied in red down beneath us for Wales. Having won the corner, Bardi, the captain, will take it. 5 grey shirts in the box. Everyone hopping around to stay primed for this short corner. And it's headed away at the near post by Ben Davies. They have it back once again. Wide on the left to the edge of the Wales penalty area. The ball is stopped to a walking pace now. Bardi shifts it one way, then the next, no way through. Curled towards the back post, it's away, I think by Mepham, and in fact there's an offside flag up. And here will come David Brooks for Wales.
You have to say, I've said it a few times, the Mepham and Roden, especially when you take in consideration they didn't play together the game prior. They've been absolutely superb today. Dallo hasn't had a lot to do, but when he has had something to do, he's been brilliant. The full-backs also. Sheehan in that pivot, they like to call it, that holding midfield role. If Wales can just, this last 15 minutes, just step up the tempo a little in their play while still maintaining possession, create a few more chances. I think that's that speed of attack which will unlock this defence and give them a clear-cut chance.
Brooks is on for Broadhead, and he's won a corner with his very first touch for Wales. That's number 5. And as Nathan was saying, there are 15 minutes remaining. On the colour scoreboard at either end, big red background, and then the 2 flags, the red, white and green of Wales, the red and yellow of North Macedonia. Ear-splitting jeers from the home fans. In comes the corner towards Davies. The goalkeeper comes and punches, and he's gone down holding his back. Has the keeper Dimitrevski, and the referee's going to stop the game. He was in the walls in the first half. He's beating the turf. The goalkeeper in the sky blue top.
I mean, come on. That is awful from the referee. I mean, if it's a head injury, I understand it, but I mean, it's his hip or something.
Well, he's now flat on the pitch, knees in the air. We're going to see a replay of it now, and he gets a clip from Ben Davies with Ben Davies' hand, but there's not exactly a lot of force in that one, Helen Ward.
No, there's nothing in that at all. It's not going to lead to physio treatment, that's for sure. I think he's just a little bit trying to be a little bit clever, buy a bit of time for his team. No, they're coming under the cosh a little. Wales getting a corner and keeping the ball live. He's just he's doing that tactically, no doubt about that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with him.
I'm just looking at these paper planes that are being thrown from the crowd. I used to do that myself as a 6-year-old. One just landed on the pitch.
That's a good spot. One just floated past our view here, high up in these steep stands of this stadium. Keeper still having some treatment. So the latest score elsewhere in Wales's group is still Liechtenstein 0, Kazakhstan 2. Czech Republic are 3-0 up in Gibraltar. Norway 3-1 up against Israel. Goalless between Montenegro and the Faroe Islands. And earlier today, it looked like a bit of a thriller between Moldova and Estonia. It finished 10 players each, and Estonia won 3-2. Wales's next match is home against Liechtenstein on June the 6th, before they face the group top seeds Belgium in Brussels. Both those games will be live on BBC One Wales and BBC Radio Wales, as will this whole campaign. And tonight we're also on the BBC Sounds app and 5 Sports Extra as well. So thank you for joining us wherever you are listening this evening. We're an hour ahead here in Skopje. So we're just coming up to 10:30 at night. It's a completely dark sky. We can just about make out the city skyline in the distance behind the goal away to our left. A few lights. The cross on top of the hill is being covered up by a dark cloud. More paper planes entering the field of play. That's the jeers and cheers you can hear. The fans making their own entertainment because their team have not given them much to shout about. Just the one attempt on goal for North Macedonia, 4 for Wales. Here is Roden for Craig Bellamy's men in red. They've had over 60% possession now in this game. They've not been able to break through, and it's walking pace again on the halfway line. If it finishes a draw, Helen and Nathan, who's the happier of the two managers? If I answer that in just a moment, because Sorba Thomas is coming forward into the box. They're cleared by Macedonia, and Roden concedes a free kick and will get a yellow card. So who's going to be happier if it stays this way with 11 minutes to go?
After the way the game has gone, I would say North Macedonia would be happier with the point. I think they know that they've been sort of, I wouldn't say outplayed necessarily, but they've been under a little bit more pressure in the game. They've conceded the best chances to Wales, so I think they'd be better, more happy, I should say. Pre-game, you maybe would have said that Wales may be okay with the point. I won't say happy, but certainly the way it's gone, I think Wales will be disappointed not to take 3 points home if it stays like this.
Yeah, I totally agree. Malewski, you can tell by the way the keeper's going down, the physio's running on, well, jogging slower than I walk, basically. You know, then they're playing for time, running down the clock. If they nick one, great. If they nick one, then you'll see more antics, no doubt. But right now, I think North Macedonia not conceding, taking a point.
This is Bardi into the penalty area, and it's fired across the face of goal. There was 2 throwing themselves at it in the back post, and they both lay motionless. They were nowhere near it. Just half a chance for North Macedonia, and it was Darko Chilinov who fired that across the face of goal.
Yeah, it was actually a lovely bit of play by the captain, Bardi. Beautiful little flip. Just got his toe underneath the ball. As you said, Mark, the 2 players going for the ball were nowhere near it. We call it an ooh from the crowd in football. Got an ooh from the crowd, but you were nowhere near it, really.
There's no doubt Bardi has been the chief creator for North Macedonia. If anyone was going to make something happen for them, it looks like it's going to be him. As a paper aeroplane almost sails into the Wales bench, and Wales get a free kick. We have 9 minutes left here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. Is anyone going to break the deadlock here and go top of Group J on their own before Belgium enter proceedings in the summer? Seeds 2 and 3 in action here. This is Sorba Thomas for seeds 2, Wales, charging forward. It's blocked and actually comes off Thomas, and it's a goal kick to North Macedonia. 8 minutes left.
Really unlucky. And look, 2 balls on the pitch, keeper knows it. Yeah. So you can see who's playing, trying to run the clock down now.
Well, the fans around us are more interested in throwing paper aeroplanes. From all sides now they're at it. And there's another Wales change coming. And the man of the hour on Saturday, Rabi Matondo, who came on late but scored the decisive third. And Joe Allen has just appeared from underneath that lengthy covered perspex bench down there. Another tweak of Craig Bellamy's system with 7.5 minutes to play. And they wanted to make the changes there, but the fourth official in the burgundy jacket is not quite ready with the board. So it's high, and Davis and Darlow, just for a second you thought they were going to get caught in two minds. Davis moved out of the way so Darlow could smash it downfield. You've seen some of those situations go horribly wrong for teams. And here come the changes. Brennan Johnson is coming off for Rabi Matondo. And Joe Allen is replacing Josh Sheehan. What do we think of those subs, Nathan and Helen?
Yeah, they're just, listen, he's just trying to get something out of the game now, trying to get a goal. Added more pace in Rabi and the experience of Joe. Just sitting there and see the last 10 minutes out. But it'll be, I think Craig, he won't be disappointed, but he'll know that it's a game they definitely should have won and could have won.
They still might win. This is Kiefer Moore holding it up, turning midway in the North Macedonia half. First touch for Rabi Matondo, number 9, and he's going to attack straight away towards the edge of the box. And he's actually conceded a free kick. Helen, what do you think about those changes?
Yeah, same as what Nathan said, really. That out-and-out pace of Rabi Matondo, try and frighten the life out of a tiring defence. Add something a little bit different, maybe a little bit more direct than Brennan Johnson. Interesting to see that he's come out onto the left-hand side and Sorba Thomas has gone over to the right. So maybe a little change of approach there as well. And yeah, Joe Allen just sort of shoring it up in that midfield, making sure that nothing gets past him in there, protecting that back four and, you know, probably trying to dictate a little bit from deep if he gets the opportunity.
I should say as well, Joe Allen is coming on for his 77th cap. That moves him level with Joe Ledley in 10th in the all-time most capped men's players. It's North Macedonia with a throw-in inside the Wales half with 5 minutes left on the watch. Joe Allen's first act is concede a free kick. It's absolutely clattered Ilieski. Almost level with the penalty area on the near right side. Absolutely no complaint about that one. And a chance for North Macedonia. Wales have been the better side. They haven't been able to break through. If you can't win it, make sure you don't lose it. A thick bit of vanishing spray. And David Brooks stands with his arms behind his back. There's a one-man wall. Rabi Matondo has been left forward. Everyone else in a line of red. And it comes from Alioski. And flicked behind, in fact, by Wales. Corner for North Macedonia. And there's another player down in grey. And this is Ilieski, who was clattered by Allen just a few moments ago.
Yeah, it wasn't on his ankle, though. It was thigh on thigh. I've seen it on the replay. It's Joe's left thigh. It was a thigh-on-thigh challenge, and the player went down holding his ankle.
Well, he's not able to continue, and he's going to be replaced by Bojan Dimioski, formerly of Vardar. This is their home stadium, now plying his trade with Partizan Belgrade. 3 minutes left as we wait for Alioski to take this corner, and everyone in red is back defending this ball as more and more bits of paper are appearing around this pitch and around the blue running track behind the goal to our right. Look, there's so many of them that haven't made the green surface, only on the blue running track. In comes an in-swinging corner. It's headed into the air, that time by Kiefer Moore, and forward by David Brooks, and North Macedonia will go all the way back to their goalkeeper. And Wales trying to play offside as Roden heads away. This collected by the grey shirts, and it opens up for them a little bit. Wide on the left is the captain, Bardi. That yellow armband standing out like a beacon against the grey shirts. He's forced backwards slightly, he's still got the ball. Corner of the box, wide on the right. He kids Thomas one way then the next. Roden stoops to head away. Wales holding firm as Macedonia almost find their feet and have a big spell of pressure for the first time in this game. Ben Davies commits a foul on the near right, and it's going to be another free kick from a dangerous position, level the edge of the Wales penalty area.
Yeah, I'm just getting to see that replay. Yeah, I suppose just caught the back of his Achilles. It was accidental. And it just gives North Macedonia another opportunity. Put that ball in the 18-yard box from this wide right position. Just wonder if they go left-footed again. Yeah, looks like they're going to swing it in left-footed. Kiefer Moore done well on the last one. Really good header. Make up a bit of ground. Got there.
This is the home side's best spell of the game. We're about to enter the final 60 seconds. Can Wales stand firm? It's an in-swinger, it's headed into the air. Who's it touched last? It's a goal kick to Wales. And Macedonia can't believe that. In fact, he's changed his mind, it's a corner. He definitely gave a goal kick.
He did.
And it caught all the North Macedonian players out because they'd raced back to the halfway line, as had Kiefer Moore. Yeah. They've now got to scurry back into the penalty area.
They just need to concentrate now. These sorts of things just break your concentration a little.
Everyone is now set. 2 North Macedonian changes are going to come on imminently, including the man who got the winner when these two sides last played here in 2013. First this corner in the final seconds of the regulation 90 towards the near post, along the floor, cleared by Kiefer Moore. Not a great header then in midfield. Joe Allen battling for it. 4 minutes of added time, which we're into now, with Trajewski and Manev waiting to come on for North Macedonia. The ball is at the feet of Sorba Thomas. It's still 0-0 here on BBC Radio Wales. Oh, it's an awful back pass. What a chance to win it for North Macedonia! And it slid into the back of the net. Miofsky has set this stadium absolutely wild, and surely hands Wales their first defeat under Craig Bellamy. The substitutes race to the corner to mob the goal scorer, but what a calamitous mistake for Wales. It is a gift in added time. North Macedonia 1, Wales 0.
That's a hard one to take, I have to say. Especially someone like Joe Allen and his standing and what he's done for his country. It's a simple mistake. And it's just a little lapse in concentration. He'll know that. And that's what this Macedonian crowd and this team were playing for. They're staying in the game, slowing it down, breaking it up. And if they could nick a goal somehow in the last minute or so, then brilliant. But it didn't look that way. But I feel for Joe Allen. I really do. I really, really do. He won't need telling. He'll know exactly what's going on. Like I said, seen 2 red shirts. Obviously 2 grey shirts there as well. A little misstep on the pass. And your worst fears are recognised. They're gutted for him.
Well, 2 changes are now for North Macedonia. Manev and Trajkovski are on. And the goal scorer, Miofsky and Kostadinov off. And Wales have to go for it now. 2 minutes left of added time. They are 1-0 down and staring at defeat yet again in Skopje.
Yeah, now you've just got to make it. Just throw everything at it. If it becomes a basketball match for a minute or two, so be it, but just throw everything in the box. Big man, keeper, get yourself set in right positions and expect crosses from all sorts of areas.
It's cleared by North Macedonia. It's on the halfway line with Mepham. Red shirts forward, but the ball's on the halfway line. Deafening roars and boos from the home fans. Jordan James searches out Thomas on the far side. Into the box it comes. Headed away. There's only Trajewski forward. It was 2-1 in 2013. It's surely going to finish 1-0 here. Wales have given away a free kick.
Yeah, Jordan's going to get booked for his reaction. He just needs to calm down. That's the frustration of conceding that goal. See, it wasn't a foul. The ladders bought the foul, but yeah, you just lose your head in those situations. You know you should never be coming off the pitch losing the game here.
All the home supporters, and I mean every single one of them, are jumping up and down. They are set for a 7th straight victory, unless Wales can do something incredibly dramatic. We've got 5 seconds left of added time. There'll probably be another minute to be added as Macedonia scored in stoppage time. This is Thomas into the penalty area, pulls it back. John James with a chance, it's blocked. Ravi Matondo on the edge of the box. Davis clips it in. What a chance that was. Macedonia scrambling away. Retrieved by Nico Williams. And who does that touch last? It's a goal kick. What a chance for Jordan James to level it.
It was a moment for him, wasn't it? It's been such a disappointing way to end a game, but that was a moment to salvage something, you know, save his teammate Joe Allen there. But fantastic block by North Macedonian defender, and you can see why they haven't conceded for so long. They've put themselves in the way, and yeah, as you say, they're on their way to their 7th victory in a row, which is, you know, it's not to be sniffed at. It's a very good record from them, and we knew tonight was going to be difficult, but at the stage of the game that we've conceded, you'd have said it was never going to end in a Macedonian win, but it seems to be that's the way it's going to go.
We're about to enter a 6th minute of added time. 4 were on the board. Is there enough time for Wales? It's Matondo on this near left. 3 grey shirts chasing him, and Craig Bellamy snarling down there. It's a throw into Wales. Still we play. Macedonia lead 1-0. It's back to the halfway line. It's got to go into that penalty area. Wales have worked it to Williams. It's long, looking for Kiefer Moore. Inside the box, he nods it down towards Jordan James. It's a chance for Wales, and they've equalised! Oh my goodness! That is absolutely incredible! David Brooks has scored in deep into stoppage time and has saved the point for Wales and has saved Craig Bellamy's unbeaten start as Wales manager. Pandemonium in the travelling support. 2 goals in stoppage time. Wales have cancelled out the opener. Absolutely astonishing stuff. Would you credit it?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. When Wales need to step up, whole pace of the game changes, the attack pace changes, and with 10 seconds to go, they get the equaliser.
And it's the last kick of the game. North Macedonia start, and the referee blows the whistle, and it's the grey-shirted players who drop to the turf. They are absolutely inconsolable. Wild celebrations from those travelling Wales fans to the left, who have got their shirts off. They're twirling them over their heads. What a dramatic finish here in Skopje. North Macedonia thought they'd stolen it right at the stroke of 90 minutes, but Miovski's goal is cancelled out in the 96th minute by David Brooks. Absolutely dramatic, incredible stuff. And it leaves Group J wide open. It finishes North Macedonia 1, Wales 1.
Wow, what a night. What a night. We'll come to you, Nathan, in a second. Gather your thoughts for a second. Stalemate in Skopje then, in the most extraordinary circumstances. And I think that David Brooks, well, the hero tonight, but Joe Allen, he will be feeling so relieved. He'll owe David Brooks, a big favour there, won't he? And he was just looking towards him as that goal went in there. He didn't go over to celebrate with Brooks, but you can imagine how he was feeling, having given that goal away there for North Macedonia to open the scoring. And as Mark was saying, they look utterly dejected. A big smile on Craig Bellamy's face there, because he knows that by the skin of their teeth, they've got away with that one tonight, and they preserve their 8-game unbeaten run under him. North Macedonia's winning run ends, but it's also 8 games unbeaten for them. We said before the game, something's got to give tonight. In the end, it didn't give. But there are big smiles on the faces of those Wales fans. Look at Jordan James. He knows Helen Ward and Nathan Blake. What a game in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we bothered with the first 90 minutes, to be honest. Could have just played 6 minutes and be done with it. But no, it's funny. 5-6 minutes ago, North Macedonia would have bitten your hand off for a draw. Suddenly they score, and it's them that's disappointed, and the Welsh fans and
look at those celebrations from the Welsh fans. Like they qualified for something.
Yeah, it's crazy how football changes so quickly, and I've just gone from saying how well Macedonia have defended and putting bodies on the line, and then 2 of their players had absolutely mind-blowing moments. One's half missed a clearance, and the other one on the line lets it dribble through his leg. So yeah, it's funny how quickly football can change. But as you said, Joe Allen will be one relieved man. Disappointed still, I think, that they haven't taken 3 points. But when you're 1-0 down in injury time, of extra time, of injury time, you know, you take the point at the end of the day.
All of the Wales players have gone over to the end where the Wales fans are. We believe about 2,000 travelling fans. Fantastic support for the men in red tonight, and the players are over there on the goal line or inside the 6-yard box, just applauding their attendance there this evening. And you know, I know it's harsh, Nathan, to point the finger at Joe Allen, one of Wales's greatest ever servants, a big hero of Euro 2016, whose mistake looked like it was going to lead to a Wales defeat there. But we talk a lot, don't we, about how hard it is to come into a game when there's only like 10 minutes on the clock and get yourself into the rhythm of it and everything like that.
Mate, listen, I think you have to focus on the fact that Wales stepped up and got themselves back in the game with less than 2 minutes ago. I think I'm sat here jaw dropped, to be honest with you. I sat with my head in my hands thinking, oh no, I felt so sorry for Joe Allen. Mistakes happen in games, and you know, he's the most experienced man on the pitch, and he's made a mistake. You're thinking to yourself, before that, you know, Wales have been disappointed to go away from here with a draw. They definitely should have won. Then they find themselves 1 goal down in injury time. I think you have to focus and give huge credit to the team, the way they just stepped up the pace in this last minute or two. And listen, you can chuck tactics left, right and centre, but myself and you and Robinson sat here and just tapping each other. Sometimes those old tactics, big man in the box, just work, right? Get people around him, get knockdowns, get opportunities, and that's exactly how Wales get back in the game. And you know, don't get out of jail. Really and truly, over 90 minutes, you would say deserved the draw at least. Should have won the game, but under the circumstances, to come away with the draw, listen, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
And it keeps Wales level with North Macedonia, which is crucial, really, in terms of where they are in this group and what's to come in the summer, when Belgium will join the party, of course. So North Macedonia still top on goal difference, on 4 points ahead of Wales. Kazakhstan are third after their victory this evening, beating Liechtenstein in Liechtenstein by 2-0. We'll bring you some reaction if we can before we leave you at 10 o'clock tonight here on BBC Radio Wales and Sounds, because I mean it does change the whole complexion, the way that you think, doesn't it, after, as Nathan was saying, Helen, after that, because if it's goalless, you're sort of asking the question, is it a good point or a missed opportunity for Wales to take control of the group? But in the end, you're happy to get out of there with a draw.
100%, and this could prove to be a really important point come the end of the qualifying campaign. You know, if you win your home games and you can pick up points against the better teams in the group, i.e. the North Macedonians, the Belgiums, then you're doing something right. So disappointing, yes, because on the whole, Wales deserved to win the game up until the 90th minute. Of course, then those moments in injury time, to be the team that equalises, it always feels that bit better when it's a late equaliser. And you know, you have to give so much credit there to Kiefer Moore. I think that's exactly what he brings to this team. When we needed him, he's up there, he's getting a really good knockdown into a brilliant area. And then credit to David Brooks staying alive. You know, the defender should have cleared it, but he's on his toes, he gets enough on it, and sees it in the back of the net. And what I really loved was that he went and got the ball. He wanted to go and win it, you know, although there was literally 10 seconds to go. And that's the attitude that this team has got. They're not delighted with a draw. They wanted to go and win it still. Didn't happen in the end. But I think overall, when you reflect on it, it will become a good point, in my opinion.
How do you think Craig Bellamy will be feeling, Nathan? We can pick apart the tactics, as you say, and say... Cartwheeling all the way home.
Cartwheeling, absolutely. Well, you have to say, you know, with a minute to go and extra time, you've lost the game. You know, so all sorts of thoughts are going through your mind, no doubt. If you're Craig, how have we lost that? What am I going to say? How am I going to explain it? And then all of a sudden, you know, like I said, the big man's on the pitch anyway. A few balls into the box. He wins a couple. You know, they had a chance earlier, you know, 20, 30, 40 seconds before that. But big man wins his header. Simple, like Helen said. Defender on their heels and attackers on their toes. And Brooksy just nicks in. I didn't even think it was going to hit the back of the net, to be honest with you. But, yeah, Craig Bellamy be absolutely delighted with the spirit, you know, the fight, the fact that they were able to step up a gear when needed to, and the fact that they did get that goal. If they walked off 1-0 down, like I said, it would have been pretty difficult to explain, not in the sense that, you know, why have you lost? Everyone could see that Wales deserved to win the game, but, you know, it's one of those games that just would have got away from Wales. But listen, 1-1, like I said, I thought it'd be a disappointing result, but under the circumstances, I'll be cartwheeling down this stadium myself. Don't worry about that.
I look forward to seeing that. Can someone film that for us?
Yeah, no doubt.
And funny night, Nathan, in terms of the emotion in that stadium. You know, we talked, obviously, before the game about the fact that it's a country in mourning. 59 people killed in a nightclub fire earlier this month, and they wanted
them more than us.
And they wanted to win the game in tribute for those people, and it looked as if they had just about done that. But also during the game, as you said, you had the paper aeroplanes being thrown down from the stands. So, and that happened at Wembley in England's games as well. It's a sort of signal of boredom, it seems, from supporters.
Yeah. It seemed to affect, like I said, affect them more than it did us. The crowd also, they weren't able to get involved in the game because, you know, Macedonia sits so deep and they defend so well. I can understand why they haven't conceded a goal for so long, but I think we paid them a bit too much respect. Not the players. I think ourselves, we thought that they were going to be a lot better than what they showed from an attack point of view. But yeah, in the end, it was just simple football, a simple mistake which got them their goal, and a simple ball up to the big man that got our goal. So, like Helen said earlier, we could have just forgot about the 90 minutes or even the 91 minutes and just played the last 5 and had done with it. But great result for Wales, absolutely great result under the circumstances.
Yeah, and I think the Welsh fans that have made the trip, there was a fantastic number of them over there. They'll be going home pretty happy, I think. And yeah, I agree with you, Nathan. I was disappointed with what Macedonia offered, probably up until that last 5 minutes of normal time, and then into injury time. They sort of seemed to step it up a little bit, trying to get the crowd on side again. But yeah, certainly, again, I'll reiterate, I think this point is going to be a big one come the end of the campaign, and, something that Wales will be delighted that they've picked up, although it might feel a little disappointing at the time not to have taken 6 points from the first 2 games. I think it still could prove very crucial. Yeah,
it feels like a win for Wales and a defeat for North Macedonia. I think when you're so close to winning and then you concede literally, they kicked off and there was 10 seconds to go, that's going to feel like a defeat.
Yeah, so, when they've spent the whole game, digging in, keeping themselves in it, earning themselves what they thought was going to be a point, to then go and think you've won it, and with all the emotion around it as well, the whole stadium erupted. It sounds like it was a fantastic atmosphere for that moment from a North Macedonian point of view. Then to have that snatched away from you, even though you didn't really deserve it, it's still heartbreaking for those players. So, knocks their momentum a little going into the next round of fixtures. But yeah, for Wales, they take the point and they'll run.
Well, if we look at the next round of fixtures, Belgium have got to go there. They've got to open their World Cup qualifying campaign away to North Macedonia. Wales face Liechtenstein on June the 6th before then going to Belgium 3 days later. So how do you see it, Nathan, in terms of what's to come on June the 6th? It's going to be a tasty looking summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you get the season over and done with, and then the players I suppose, will report sometime maybe early June, late May. But I just think right now you'll be just focusing on the fact that you've got out of jail, really and truly. And those games, I mean, Belgium to come here, I think that's going to be the significant game now. Wales will, I think Wales will have to win all their own home games and probably go to Belgium and nick a win. I was speaking to one of the lads earlier. I said it's either win here or it's win Belgium to win the group for me.
So a bit more pressure then on them now to go to Belgium and get a win after tonight. Yeah,
it's a long way down the road, and you never know, Belgium might come here and lose. That would open it up again for Wales. It'd be brilliant. But listen, I think before the game I thought it was between the three. I'm now convinced it's between Wales and Belgium. And if Wales don't win here, then they're going to have to win in Belgium. I think it's as simple as that when it boils down to it.
Helen, I heard from the journalist before the game, he thought that North Macedonia were very much in the race for the top two, if not trying to finish top in the group. Do you see it as a two-horse race or three?
I still wouldn't count North Macedonia out, even though we have been a bit disappointed by their performance tonight. There could be many reasons for that, and the emotion of it all could be part of that, and almost the pressure to go and win for those unfortunate victims of the fire. I still wouldn't count them out. I do feel that if you add the likes of Harry Wilson, Ethan Ampadu, Aaron Ramsey, I don't know how long his injury is going to be. It's obviously a significant one. But if they're back for the next couple of games, it does add even more to that Wales depth. And I think tonight is probably the night we really realised how important Harry Wilson is. I thought Nathan Broadhead did okay, and obviously David Brooks has come on and scored the goal, but he just adds that little bit of guile, that bit of class in that midfield. He adds goals, we've seen that. He pops up in, not just the long range ones, he gets himself in the box on the end of crosses, and he's been a bit of a miss, I think, tonight more so than Saturday. So to get him back fit will be key. Ethan Ampadu as well can come into that midfield and control things. So there's certainly promise for Wales, but yeah, there's certainly three teams, I think, that's still in the running for this group. But, hopefully Wales can do enough and come out on top.
See David Brooks being interviewed at the moment there. He will be absolutely delighted, won't he, to play the hero's role, the saviour's role tonight, really, after Wales gave away that opening goal for North Macedonia. We would expect Harry Wilson to be back by June. Nathan, perhaps Ethan Ampadu as well. So, let's hear from him, shall we? David Brooks, let's get his thoughts. Here he is.
David, what a game, what a moment. Just try and tell me how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, obviously it was a very tough game. I think we always knew when you come away from home to places like this, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. And I think obviously it's one little mistake from obviously a very, very good player, and he's been one of our best players ever. The boys just wanted to kind of get him out of trouble and obviously help us in the campaign. And thankfully it was me today, but the performance that the lads shown in the first 60-70 minutes before I come on as well were absolutely fantastic. So I think we probably deserve more from the game, but we'll obviously take a point from where we were with a minute to go.
Did you feel though at one point, obviously when they scored, you're thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose this game? And then what's your mentality like at that point?
No, I think obviously when there's a minute to go, the time factor does probably creep into your thoughts a little bit and think, oh, maybe it's just their day. But there was never a moment where you don't think you're going to get an opportunity. And I think I knew with the lads on the pitch there's quality. So if I did get a chance to obviously just try and be ready for it. And obviously, thankfully their boy missed it on the line. But obviously I'm absolutely buzzing to be able to help the team and get a very, very good point.
And you've just been in that changing room now. What's Craig been saying and what's the mood like in there?
To be honest, it's exactly what I just said. It's obviously we're a good group with a lot of quality, and I think we showed that today. And I think it would have been very, very unjust if they'd have walked away with 3 points today. So we're going to have to just dust ourselves off and take the point back home. But I think there was a lot of positives in that performance to show we should have won the game. And it's just the final little details. I think we would have got a goal earlier. But like I say, with a minute to go, you definitely take the point and we'll go home happy.
Yeah, how important might that goal and that point become the end of that campaign, looking at the context of things in terms of qualifying?
Yeah, I think obviously I alluded to it earlier. I think that they are a very good side, and I think they will cause people in the group problems, especially when we have to play them at home as well. So, yeah, like I say, we did a good performance today. 4 points from the first 2 games. Obviously, we'd have liked 6, but yeah, we take it, move on, and hopefully we can get 6 in the summer camp.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it should be a sizzling summer for Wales, with Liechtenstein to come at the Cardiff City Stadium, then followed by that trip to face Belgium. We'll have both of those games live here on BBC Radio Wales. My thanks to Nathan Blake then for his commentary this evening from Skopje. Helen Warren, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you next week for Wales against Denmark in the Women's Nations League. And we've got more live football to come, of course, on Saturday. Wales against England in the Women's Six Nations. It's the big one from the Principality Stadium, plus 4 EFL commentaries to bring you as well. Looking forward to that on Saturday. So there we go then, 8 games unbeaten for Craig Bellamy's Wales, but by the skin of their teeth. What a night in Skopje. Thanks for being with us. Larry Shawn coming up after the latest BBC Radio Wales news and weather with Ellen Alexander.
This is Radio Wales.